Podcasting from the Chicagoland area, this is Game On with Jackson Stuart, where we discuss men's lifestyle, focusing on sex, fitness, relationships, business, and more. We'll be interviewing the best of the best, the hot shots, and the rising stars in the worlds of modeling, fitness, cooking, and more. Influencers who are discussing keeping it sexy while at the top of their game. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the game. What if you could be a better player for the cost of one more cup of coffee a month? Get access to a growing library of lit erotica, behind-the-scenes action, and player's guides with tips on drinking, cooking, fitness, dating, sex, and life after dark. Low tier rate while offer lasts. Patreon.com, Game On with Jack. Keep it sexy and game on. Welcome, good people, sexy people, to another edition of Game On with Jackson Stuart. I'm your host, and as always, thank you so much for taking time out to join me every Friday evening at 5:01 p.m. CDT. Somebody once asked me why 5:01, and I'm like, well, because, we always 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, like p.m., like on the dot. I just said, screw it. I'm going to add that 01, just be a little different. So that's literally why. If you've ever wondered why this show is 5:01, that is why. Just to stick out just a hair different. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a great 2023. A lot of the focus for these next upcoming shows is going to be like how to launch your new year the best way possible and to tackle some of the issues that not feel men, but really people, any gender orientation, walk of life, etc., are faced with as they do try and better themselves. And you can listen to these podcasts, you can take these notes. It could be January 2023, it could be July, it could be March, it could be any time. These are timeless concepts and ideas that I believe, and they've been tried and tested, will help you, level up your game, help you win the game, beat the game, all that kind of good stuff. So I really want you guys to take notes, play the podcast back, share it with people who you feel are, trying to level themselves up, and let me know the feedback. Let me know if it helped. Let me know if it didn't. Places you can find Game On with Jack besides on podbean.com, but also the blog is up and running, gameonwithjack.blog. Hit the player shop. I've got great affiliate links for great products there. I'm a big fan of the drinkware I've got listed. I'm going to post more products there. We've got products there for Vintage Gentleman. If you've never heard of Vintage Gentleman, definitely check out their website. Some kick-ass products, things you would not think of that you need, like things that you want. And you're like, man, I didn't know I needed a custom-made camping / steak knife. Like they've got like crazy cool stuff there. So check it out. Also on YouTube, Game On with Jack on YouTube and Game On with Jackson Stuart on Facebook. So there's no reason why you cannot not get your daily and at least weekly dose of Game On with Jack. So check it out. Hope you enjoy it. Tonight's topic, we are discussing the importance of mental health and ways to better your mental health this year coming up. So, first and foremost, I do have to make a comment that I am not a licensed therapist. I'm not a social worker. But I, have had experience with therapy. I've seen what therapy can do for people. And I'm a big proponent of it, and I know lots of people who have gone through things or going through things in their life, and you get rattled and they need to talk to somebody. And I'll be the first person to, lend an ear and lend a shoulder, but also the first person to say, hey, you need to talk to somebody. You can talk to a professional, talk to a counselor, talk to a therapist. And that's why I want to do this show, to speak from that perspective, not as a quote unquote licensed professional, but somebody who has experienced it, who has seen the good therapy can do, who has seen the good that focusing on mental health can provide. And so that's why I want to talk about it. So, first up, the idea of mental health. I always say I think we're about 75 to 100 years away from viewing mental health as a, community-wide legitimate concern. And what I mean by that is you could tell people you're diabetic, you could tell people you're dealing with cancer, you could tell people you're dealing with whatever, and people will lend you support, people will listen, people will give you that look of empathy and sympathy. But if you tell people, and not all people, but you could say to people, yeah, I struggle with depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, manic depression, etc., you're going to encounter some people who almost don't know how to handle you, who don't know what to say, who are going to look at you like you are the most contagious creature alive. That is what I mean by the idea that I feel like we're about a century away from just accepting mental health as another aspect of health. If you tell people you have a cold, they go, oh man, I hope you feel better. If it gets too bad, man, go to the doctor. Like, oh man, I got a fever. Well, if you got a fever, go to the doctor and tell them. One day we will get to the point where somebody's like, I'm just not feeling good, man. I'm just, it's tough to get out of bed and I'm just having a lot of negative thoughts. And we'll say, hey, why don't you go talk to somebody? Like one day we're going to have that reaction no matter what. And we're not going to shun people who have mental health issues, and we're not going to ignore our own mental health. And getting better mental health will be as much on somebody's plate as is, losing 10 pounds or training for a decathlon or a race. Up there will be better mental health, less anxiety, less stress, better positive thought process. Like we're going to have that up there. So that's what I hope. That's what I know will happen. It's just going to take time. It's going to take a lot of patience. And in the meanwhile, or I say in the meantime, here are some pointers. Here are some tips I feel will help you to better your mental health. First up, fellas, I cannot stress enough the importance of exercise for your mental health. So exercise is one of the most effective ways to better just how you feel, how you think, how you process information. Physical activity on a regular interval, the regular part of your routine, can help reduce stress, can help reduce anxiety, can help improve your mood, can help boost your self-esteem. And those things right there, stress, mood, and self-esteem, those are key components of your mental health. Okay, so don't think you have to go out and bench press 1,000 pounds or run 50 miles in one day. Aerobic exercise, like just basic running or cycling, can greatly reduce symptoms of depression. Now, this is information I've taken from, licensed medical journals, and, you can vet all this. Please do look it all up. Don't just take my word for it, but working out, whether it be aerobic, getting your cardiovascular system, on full blast, or strength training, lifting weights, using body weights, in terms, push-ups and pull-ups on along that level, can greatly improve your body image, your internal body image, like what you feel you look like, how you feel your body performs, and your self-esteem. From a practical standpoint, or just more of like I should say a behavioral standpoint, not necessarily the biological, but you just will feel better. You will suddenly have a boost in confidence of your skill set, what you can do, how you use your body. biologically, when you exercise, you allow your body, you actually demand your body to release endorphins. Endorphins, that's that good, man. Those are the chemicals in your brain that flood all of a sudden, and they're natural painkillers. They are natural mood enhancers. They boost how you feel. They boost a positive aspect in your outlook. And exercise can help reduce your levels of stress hormones like cortisol. And cortisol can lead to a lot of, I mean, it's good, it's necessary, but too much of anything is bad, right? Even good things. Cortisol can contribute to feelings of anxiety and depression. It's been shown to help facilitate weight gain and overall sluggishness over a period of time. So exercise is key. And once again, we're not saying go kill yourself in the gym. Get moving. Even just going for a walk can boost your mood, can boost your mental health. I'm not saying walk the Gobi Desert. Walk around the block. You know, go to your community center in your town, in your neighborhood. A lot of these tracks are free to people that live in the area. Shit, a lot of people don't even know that. You sign up and the track is yours. You could walk the track. You could run the track, jog it, shit, whatever. Get moving, guys. Get moving. You know, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. There's just a positive focus, excuse me, that accompanies when you start to positively move your body. And by positively move your body, exercise, lift weights, work out. Like, you are just moving every aspect of who you are forward. So incorporating exercise in your daily routine doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to break you. Okay. It doesn't have to be time consuming. You don't have to sit there and go, oh my God, you know, I got to find 6 hours to go to the gym. No. And it's that kind of perspective on mental health tips that can paralyze you from even doing anything, you know, from making one simple step to get better. So take a walk on lunch. Do 5 push-ups. You know, go to the community center. Like I said, go to the track. I mean, for most places in the country, it's cold as hell right now, but just get out, go for a short hike. Be safe, be smart, but be active, be moving. Okay. And the key is to find an activity that you enjoy and you can, you know, adopt it as part of your life. Nothing's worse than exercise that you hate. Okay. Like, I don't like running. So I don't run a lot. You know, I'll get on the elliptical. I'll get on a treadmill and you know, like put on a movie and just walk at a great giant incline. But there's other ways to get that aerobic reaction from my body that I enjoy. And that helps me keep it as part of my activity. And I'm speaking from personal experience. I've had shitty days where I'm like, God, I feel terrible. I'm in a bad mood. I get my ass to the gym. And, you know, I pump some iron. I get the cardio going. I get the blood pumping. And I might walk out of there with the same set of problems that I walked in with, but damn it, I feel kind of good. I feel better. I feel capable, okay, that I can handle whatever's being thrown at me. So step 1, exercise. Step 2, stress. Stress is a killer. I know we hear that. I know we kind of like, okay, whatever. It's real talk, fellas. Stress kills. I'm a notorious stress magnet. I'm a stress bucket. I absorb stress. Stress just finds me. I collect it. I'm working on that. You know, that's part of my own personal mental health betterment plan. You know, stress is not in and of itself a bad thing. Actually, stress is good. Stress, you know, can test your body's reaction. Stress can test your mind's reaction. Stress can cause your body to grow. You know, when you lift weights, you put stress on your muscular and skeletal cells that actually micro tear and heal stronger and better. In your mind, if you're up against a challenge, your brain will chart new neural pathways to find a solution. But that is okay stress. It is that long-term chronic stress that you can't do shit about, that you can't let go of, that you focus on outside of its actual occurrence. You have a shitty day at work, and in that moment, in that room where the shit is going down, you feel stress. But the problem is when you walk out, you're on your way home, you're talking to your wife, your husband, your kids, your friends, you're still stressing over the shit that happened hours ago. I'm preaching to you from the church of stress. I'm not just making this up. I know. All right. I know how easy it is to get locked on stress. Our bodies are built with a beautiful fight or flight response. That is some primal stuff. That is hardwired. That is, the saber-toothed tiger is coming at me. My heart starts to pump harder to give my muscles more blood so they can explode in either running or fighting. My lungs breathe deeper to give my body oxygen to perform. My brain, my alertness and my awareness sharpen, but some of my logical functions are are handicapped, so to speak, because that higher thinking isn't going to save me from this primal animal after me. But our ancestors, once they got out of the bad situation, once they got away from the giant spider, or because every prehistoric movie had a giant spider in it, right? Once they got away from the big cat chasing it, or whatever it was, or hunted down the mastodon for food, that stress left them. Okay, they didn't sit there and go back to the cave and be like, man, it was a fucked up day. That tiger, and they're like, yeah, man, my tiger was like last month, and like and then they're stressed out about it, and they start doing negative, stressful things, like the cavemen weren't sitting around smoking and drinking too much because they went through stress. No, they left the stress where it was. That's what we got to do. How do we handle stress? One, you got to acknowledge it. Okay, you have to find your triggers. What sets you off and where does it happen? You have to honor your feelings. Like, the thing with stress and having a stressful reaction, it might be warranted. You might have every right to feel the way you do, but you don't have to feel that way for as long as you've been feeling. Some jackass cuts you off in traffic, you get pissed off. Yeah, totally validated in how you feel. But 3 hours later, when you're at lunch and that driver is God knows where, you shouldn't still be harping on it. You shouldn't still be carrying that anger and that resentment. Stress will kill you. Stress will damage your body. It can lead to high blood pressure, which is a silent killer. It can lead to, in indirect ways. It can lead to liver damage. It can lead to issues with your overall cardiovascular. Then stress can beget, I love the word beget, but it can beget bad behaviors, excessive drinking, excessive bad eating, all that kind of stuff. So realize that you indulge in stress. You don't want to get more stressed out realizing you indulge in stress. You want to look at your stress reactions and allow that knowledge to help you deconstruct your overreaction to stress. So exercise helps alleviate stress a lot. Real talk. It does. And you want to identify what pisses you off, what sets you on 10, and talk to somebody. Like, stress is a hard thing, especially if you chronically stress out. It becomes part of your behavior patterns, part of who you are. That's some programming that might be hard to unwind on your own. Go talk to somebody. I can almost guarantee that wherever you work, they probably have some type of employee assistance program. Look them up. Short-term counseling tends to be free, part of that kind of program. Talk to your insurance people. Tell them you need to look for a therapist. After COVID, I think people became a lot more aware and understanding of the need for self-care and therapy, because COVID and quarantine and, seeing the world kind of hold its breath for 2.5 years fucked up a lot of people. And I think it helped us extend our awareness of just the need to feel better. And that feeling better really is a thing. It's not just like, oh, as long as you got 3 meals and you sleep at night. No, how you feel is just as important. So we talked about exercise. We talked about stress. Next up, the importance for social support as you look to better your mental health in 2023. So exercise, you can, people tend to work out alone. Sometimes you have a workout buddy. Stress, you tend to analyze your stress alone, but you might talk to a friend. But social support is huge. So that means having a support system. And a support system can be one of two things. One, it can be people you can go and talk to, right? It can be friends and family that, will lend you an ear, that you can express your feelings to. And you gotta have people you can talk to about your deepest, darkest feelings, like when you're really pissed off. Maybe you're being tempted by something. Maybe, you want to talk about how sex is impacting you or what have you. So you gotta have that support system. You gotta have that support system. You try saying that a couple times. That will let you talk. Okay, that'll let you vent. That'll let you emote and get that shit out of your system. But another type of support system are people you can just interact with and have a good time. Your support system doesn't have to just be something that's heavy. Okay, that's just deep talks and like, shit, man, we're gonna hammer it out tonight, brother. Like, it doesn't have to always be that hardcore. It can just be people that help raise your level of joy, that help raise your experience as a happy human being. And maybe it's a pet, maybe you get a dog, maybe you get a cat, maybe you got a bird or a fish. This support system. I said fish, I almost said vish. But no, really, this support system is here to hold you up, and there's lots of ways to be held up. One way is hold me up when I'm feeling bad. I need to get some shit out of my system, but also hold me up when I want to have fun, when I want to laugh, when I want to goof off, when I want to have a joy and happiness in my life. It doesn't always have to be so damn serious and so intense. And so, a key issue with support systems that men are often raised and taught to hold our feelings in. We find it difficult to express ourselves. And we're getting better, don't get me wrong. And it's hard for men to tell anybody, especially their friends, like, yeah, man, I'm going through depression. I'm struggling with anxiety. Part of our gender role in society, except as of late, we've been trying to deconstruct that a little bit, but just, stoic, hard, nothing rattles us. We don't feel anything, but just lust. We just want to fuck. We don't want to talk about love or heartache or loneliness. We don't have those feelings. That's bullshit, man. A man is as human as a woman, and we can look at women as having emotions. And guess what? So do we. So having a support system needs to be a place of being safe, right? Where you can talk your feelings out. And, hey, a support system is going to have to see you when you ugly. Okay? When you're ugly mad, when you're ugly sad, when you're ugly crying. And keep in mind, a real support system, it's not going to number in double digits. You might have a solid support system of 3 people. I really can talk, guys. It's all this that's catching me. A solid support system is probably going to be about 3 guys. If you got more than that, you're blessed, and I'm so happy for you. But you probably got about 3 that you can just go just down in the dirt with, man, toe to toe, hardcore. But on the flip side, the fun support system, you might have 10 or 15 on that one. So we covered 3 topics already. We talked about the importance of exercise, the importance of stress, or acknowledging stress and identifying it. And now we talked about having a support system. And, you know, you want to get better. You want to get better mental health. You want to feel better. You need to hit all of these. Now, I'm not saying you have to dedicate your every waking moment to working out, excuse me, or building a support system, but incorporate these. And, this leads me to my next point of self-care. And in self-care, guys, you got to be easy with yourselves. Don't beat yourself up, and, self-care, and I drop the ball on self-care a lot. I got lots of people that care about me who are always lecturing my ass about self-care, and they're right. Like every time they're right. It's just something I got to work on. Self-care is essential. It's a big part of your mental health. And it includes practices that are for you to take care of you. Okay, so it incorporates getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, taking time to relax, taking time to do things you enjoy, also taking time to practice stress management techniques like mindfulness, prayer, yoga, deep breathing exercises, like all these things and more encapsulate self-care. And here's why I want to point out, be easy with yourself. Because sometimes, guys, we're so fucking intense. We're like, yeah, we're going to tackle this. And yeah, we're going to tackle that. Today I'm tackling stress management. I'm going to take my stress apart. And we're like so intense that we're stressing out and straining our mental health in the pursuit of getting healthier mentally. And that is not the right way to do it. There has to be a certain amount of gentle expectations. Like, for example, I said exercise. Okay, cool. Let's say you make a nice workout plan. Let's say there's a day that you don't get to work out. Maybe because of work. Maybe you feel like shit. Maybe because of the weather. Maybe you just didn't feel like doing it. Don't beat yourself up. You're going to have moments where you're going to drop the ball because you know what? You're human. And oh well. And just the next day or next opportunity pops up, hit it. Keep moving. The pursuit of being healthier mentally is not a pursuit that is meant to dog you, to stress you, to punish you. Okay? It's a pursuit to make you feel better. Okay? So self-care, one of the most important aspects of self-care is the ability to manage your stress. We already talked about the stress can be a horribly negative thing. It also, besides wearing your body out, can contribute to anxiety, can contribute to depression, can contribute to other mental health maladies that can just totally alter your life for the worst. Self-care will force you to learn, force in a gentle, good way, time management, because you're going to have to fit in time management skills that you can put in self-care every day. So you're going to have to look at your busy schedule and start to wedge out time in your day to take care of yourself. Some people start to get up earlier and they meditate in the morning. Some people on their lunch break, maybe every other day, incorporate self-care. Here's the goal. Self-care is a daily routine. I know that sounds like a lot, but you are worth it. You brush your teeth every morning. You take a bath or a shower every day. You go to the bathroom, you eat. We get so fixated on physical actions as being necessary that we don't think of our well-being and the actions that we need to take to make that better as being necessary. So every day you got to work in some self-care. Maybe it's a 5-minute meditation every day. Maybe it's, and then tomorrow it's lunch at a place that you really enjoy. You have fun at. Like, self-care is not just a dull, sitting there with your legs crossed, chanting. Self-care should be vibrant, should be fun, should be rejuvenating. Self-care is different for every person. Sometimes you gotta, make a self-care regimen of things that work out for you. Talk to a therapist if you need help establishing self-care. Get a life coach. Like there's so many tools out there for you to figure out what your self-care routine needs to be, that there's no excuse for you to not have one at all. So definitely, definitely, definitely. Number 4, self-care. Huge. Self-care. And some people say, well, Jack, which one's more important? They're all equally important. So don't try and just wiggle your way out and just hit one. Incorporate all of these, okay? And last but not least, um, you know, therapy. And I think about the way I wanted to just say it, but I'm just going to point blank say it. Therapy. Talk to somebody. Get help. Exercise is great. Stress identification and management is great. Um, Self-care is awesome. A support system is great. But do not forget the importance of having professional help as part of your mental health routine. There is no shame in having a therapist. There is no shame in having a counselor. Um, Everybody is going through something. Trust me. There are countless numbers of people who commit suicide, countless numbers of people who routinely practice self-harm. People, and that's the extreme side. We're not even thinking about the people who, you know, eat too much, eat bad, drink too much, are snippy, just have bad attitudes. They're irritable. They're stressed out. They have fucked up relationships because of just their mental health. Like mental health impacts everything because we are mental health creatures. We're not just hearts and lungs and muscles walking around. We have feelings, emotions that drive and move those hearts and lungs and legs to places where they got to go and to do things that they got to do. There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on in everybody's life, and you don't know what people are going through when you see them, when you talk to them, when you email them, when you interact with them. You're either going into a storm, you're in a storm, or you're coming out of a storm. Either way, going through a storm by yourself is hard. Walking towards a storm by yourself is hard, and coming out of one can be hard because you don't know what you are now that you came out of it. Get professional help. If you don't know where to get professional help, you got insurance, start there. Call your insurance people. Tell them you're looking for a therapist in your area, and get one and try it out. And realize that therapists are not permanent. You might have a therapist or get a therapist, I'm sorry, and you don't like them. You guys just don't click. Fuck it, get another one. Like same with doctors. Like people get so stuck like, man, my doctor is always late or she just doesn't have a good bedside manner. Fuck it, get another one. Your your health, especially your mental health, is so precious that you've got to find an expert that is a perfect fit. I mean, perfect, being a relative word, but somebody that you walk out of their office feeling better. Now you might feel challenged because they might, dig up some shit you gotta work on, but you feel better. Okay. If you don't have insurance and you got a job, look to see if your job has an employee assistance program. There's a good chance they probably do. And they might lend you some free therapy up to a certain point. And if you don't have EAP at your disposal and you don't have insurance, shit, if you look at the National Mental, I think it's NMIH, I'm sorry. But there are free resources out there that will help you to a certain degree. Because like one person struggling with mental health impacts more than just one person. We hear too many stories of people who, wreak havoc and perform acts of violence because they were troubled. Get help. Talk to people. Follow these, steps that I hope help. Get an exercise program. If you need help developing it, can't talk again. Go to the gym and get a coach. Get somebody at the gym who can help you build a program. Somebody that works there, not just some yuckhead who's over on the weights. Dealing with your stress, therapist, counselor, support system, those good friends that you can talk to, not the dumbasses, but those good friends you can talk to, and the fun friends that can enjoy your activities with you. Self-care. A therapist can help you develop a self-care routine, but you can figure one out on your own also. What do you do that makes you feel good? I don't care how simple or how stupid it is, because there's no such thing as simple or stupid when it's your thing. You feel better when you go to, Starbucks and get a cup of coffee, go get the fucking coffee. You feel better taking a walk or hiking when you can. Well, start making that part of your routine. You've got to take care of yourself, guys. You got to. And lastly, get help. Get professional licensed therapists. Find one you like. Find one that helps you be a better version of you, a better player, and do it. Good people, sexy people, that wraps up our show. Definitely don't forget to check us out on YouTube at Game On with Jack, Twitter at Game On with Jack, Facebook, Game On with Jackson Stuart, and hit up the blog, and definitely check out the player shop, GameOnWithJack.shop. I just released an ebook based off last week's show talking about how to age better. It is on sale right now for 99 cents. There's no reason why you don't go and get your ass that book right now, 99 cents. Check it out. Let me know. You guys, wishing you the best 2023 that is possible. Take care of yourselves. Stay sexy. Game on.